Hello everyone. Do you know what grinds my gears? Or I guess, do you know what I absolutely hate to the very core in H2 computing? Well, it's databases. I really hate databases. And the reason why is because so much goes wrong when it comes to databases that I don't know, it just whatever. Okay, so in my A levels, right, we had a very interesting database question. And one of the queries was so hard, I'm pretty sure I got a straight zero in it. Okay, my computing was fine, but my god, I think about that question quite a lot, and it has made me develop a hatred of SQL. And for that reason, today I'll be bringing you through essential databases. Again, I made this when I was like J1 or J2 or J1 and a half, I don't know, somewhere. And it is for my class to learn databases without having to struggle through notes that much. So yeah, there are two types, section A and section B. So for section A, it's gonna be your SQLite, and for section B, it's gonna be your Mongo and NoSQL. So the thing is, I can't really comment on whether one is gonna come out or the other. Like honestly, during our year, we all had a suspicion that Mongo would not come out because there was something wrong with one of the sorry, no, nothing was wrong. There was a package, I believe, or like a few functions that had to be updated and were not reflected on the insert because the insert had not changed. So it would be unfair if they told us that Mongo was gonna come out despite the insert reflecting the wrong functions. But whatever. Yeah, I'll just go through basically SQL or NoSQL, but just keep in mind the insert is very useful. Please refer to the insert. It's gonna help you a lot. But don't get over reliant on it because if you don't know how to use it, then you're cooked. So yeah, let's go through SQL first. So SQL, again, it uses your app and everything that you need to learn about, the database and everything. You have to go and I forgot what the software is called, but you have to go and poke around and then you can set things up on your own. Again, if you need to hit the requirements, regardless of whether your code works, you can just go in there and set up your stuff to earn some marks. Computing is a very meritocratic subject, so even if you end up setting up the right database and getting some of the stuff out of reflecting all of the changes without having to run proper code because something went wrong, you will still get some marks, so be careful. Again, I don't know if this is going to change for your year, but it was fine for my year, so just keep in mind. So yeah, you import SQL and then you connect to the database this way. Again, when you're going to open and close the connection, you need to use connect and close. And yeah, it auto connects to the database if it exists, and it creates it if it's non-existent, so it's very convenient for you. Just remember that it will create a new thing, so if you change something by accident, like capital S or something, it will be a different database in complete entirety. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Then, we connect to it, and you can execute commands this way. Again, your CRUD, your create, read, update, delete. In this case, this is how you would create something. It's again basic SQL. Create table if not exists. This basically, let me break this down. Create, it tells SQL, yo, I'm trying to create something, a table. And if not exists, VJ students means if there is no table that exists called VJ students, let's make this. If it exists, ignore. And then, yeah, your exam number is your integer primary key. Your name is going to be text, and your class is going to be text as well. Remember, it's not string, it's text. Then, again, close it. And yeah, here if you want to update, like add values inside, you can do connection.execute, right? Insert into the table that you want. And then you absolutely must add what they are expecting. And then values, and then whatever you want over here. So in this case, you can't just put insert into VJ students values and then put whatever you want. You have to specify into what fields must you insert these values. So yeah, if you want to roll back or reverse it, like yo, I don't want that to happen, right? You want to kind of go back a little bit. This is what you will have to do. You have to do connection.rollback. This will undo effectively. You can try this on your own and yeah, it'll do stuff. And don't forget, you have to use connection.commit in order to commit changes to the database. You can't just execute, then close and happy. You have to commit. So Again, you execute, roll back, execute, and you commit, and you close the connection. All of these will kind of reflect the changes that are necessary. Now, if we go to specific insertion, right, you want to insert specifically or update specifically one value, you would have to do this. So let's say you want to delete a student, right? Or not a student, you want to delete a student record. You would have to go enter a student record to delete, input, regular Python, and then execute. And when you want to have a dynamic thing in there, you need to put a question mark, and then immediately after, inside of a single element tuple, right? Because again, it's circular brackets with a comma inside. You must add whatever it is over here, which is the variable you have thrown your input into. So I hope that clears that up. And then we have iterative selection. So iterative selection is a bit more interesting. Iterative selection allows you to just kind of select depending on whatever's there. So again, you connect your whatever, and then connection.execute, select whatever, and then cursor, right? Since you don't connection.execute anymore, you put equals connection.execute. Cursor now contains all of your different data. So, since you took whatever comes out of connection.execute blah 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 and put it into cursor, you must now iterate through cursor. So for row in cursor, print row, and that will leave you with the phone number, the person, and the class, and everything will be great. Now, if you want to fetch one and fetch all, you have to use this. So again, create cursor, you go select, all of your stuff is now stored in cursor. Great job. If you do row is equal to cursor.fetch 1, right? While row is not none, print row cursor.fetch 1. What it will do is it will effectively one by one fetch everything. But if you do fetch all, it'll just kind of fetch everything in one shot and place it very nicely inside of a list so that you can do whatever manipulation you want with it. Then we have list cast selection. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what this is. Oh right, wait. So this does the exact same thing as above, except it automatically casts it straight from selection. So you know how I told you everything's stored inside of cursor? If you immediately cast it into a list instantly without going through any of your fetch or whatever readback or your for loop, right? If you immediately put it into a list, you can directly access it and start just printing it out as a list, which is very convenient. I would say that's quite good. And now we have the slightly more odd one, which is row factory. I personally don't think I have ever used row factory. So if you would like to use row factory, this is how you would do it, but I don't think you will ever have to use row factory unless you specify. I realize they have this bad habit nowadays of asking you to do things in specific ways. Like, I noticed a lot of schools started doing this as well. They'll be like, okay, do this thing, but you're not allowed to use this, or you're not allowed to use this, or you must use this. And then you're just kind of like, bruh, let me code the way I want. So yeah, just I guess learn this as well. But yeah, I don't think I've ever properly used this. Then we have deletion and drop table. Oh yes. So delete, again, allows you to just kind of create a deletion depending on whatever you want, as I've shown you above. And then drop table, even better. Just drop the whole table and then commit it and close it. Then the table won't exist and all's fine. So that's all there is for a SQL. I'll take a commercial break and I'll come back for Mongo. Hello everyone, I'm back for MongoDB, which is everyone's favorite database. The reason why it's everyone's favorite is because it's never been tested and never... Actually, no, it might be. So keep your eyes peeled and don't die. Okay, so let's take a look. Firstly, when you want to use MongoDB, you have to understand that it's going to be a lot simpler. A lot more things will be easier to understand, and you won't be relying on two programming languages, one embedded inside of the other, to get your stuff working. It's just Python. So, better. So again, yeah, for this you have to import this thing called Mongo client, and you have to do from pymongo import Mongo client, not import Mongo client on its own. Then yeah, after this you need to client equals to Mongo client and then client.close, and you must remember to close your client. I'm looking at you, Joshua though. So yeah, don't forget that. And when you list your databases, you have to use list database names. So for context, remember the thing I told you that there's like an update to certain functions that can be used. I'm pretty sure list database names is one of them. So keep an eye out for that, I guess. By the time this is out, maybe it's changed again. I don't know. Or maybe this is not compatible with the version that you're using for A's. I'm not too sure. Just make sure that you're keeping that in mind. Then after that, you have creation. So again, creation is really simple. You want to get database, get collection, etc. But you have to understand how exactly the hierarchy works in this. So inside of your Mongo client, right, there is a database. And inside of your database, there is a collection. You have to think about it like that. Which is why I put db is equal to client.getDatabase, and then call is equal to db.getCollection. So it's client, and then database, and then collection. Yeah. So in this case, insert one, really simple. It's just call.insert one, and then just throw a dictionary in there. If you want to insert many, it's the same thing. It's just a list of entries. Then if you want to update one, okay, this is a bit annoying. You have to use two different things, search and update. Both of them are a bit annoying to use, but if you understand how to use them, it's not that hard. So firstly, you need to understand that search and update are two different things. Do not write these with these weird thingies. Don't write them in line. Don't put call.update1 bracket curly brace age whatever comma and then do that again. Don't do that. You will get confused and you will probably die. So just chill. When it comes to search, right, all you want to do is be able to find the thing. So remember, firstly, you want to find age. If you wanted to just find age, this whole thing you can just replace with 19, which is everyone whose age is 19. But you want to put greater than 19. So that is why you add another brace, which is greater than 19. So it'll sort by age, and inside of age, they'll look for the entries that are greater than 19. Again, there's GT, LT, and like a bunch of other stuff. Should be in your insert, just take a look. Then set. So for set, right, you will be looking at what you want it to be, what you want it to be updated as. And in this case, it's again really simple, just change the age to 100. So yeah, that's how you use search and update. It's a bit complicated, but just remember, break it down one by one, build up to it, and you'll make sense. Like if you did this and you did like, I don't know, you did this, it'll probably be a bit easier to understand. And then once you add this, it'll make a lot more sense than if I just showed you this and you were like, yeah, just go learn this. So yeah, that's what update 1 does. Now for update many, it's similar, right? It's similar. Just keep in mind you have to update this to many, and it's quite unfortunate, which is this update is I guess quite unfortunate, but whatever. Moving on to read. When you want to read something, you would just have to use a for loop. So again, you create your whatever, result equals to call.find. .find is how you'd use it. And then for doc in result, because again, you stored all of your findings in result, you have to print doc, and you will end up with this, which is some weird thing, followed by name is Kevin, hobby is HSR. So this weird thing is basically, you can think of it like the address in which your object is stored, or like the place where you can find your object. And that is something that you would generally not use. I have never used it yet. It has a purpose, which is to identify a unique object, which means if I have two entries where Kevin has HSR, right? If I have two different entries where Kevin has HSR, then they would be distinct based on the object ID. But in this case, you don't really need to use it. And in most questions, you can just start using this and this, which is your I guess your first and your second element, which is fine. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And if you notice, one really interesting thing about Mongo is the fact that you don't have a sort of structure to follow, right? These people are all part of the same database and same collection, right? Kevin, Pan, Ashton. But the thing is, all of them have other things attached to them that are not standard. In SQL, right? In SQL, if I had a list of my friends, for example, then all of them would have to have an age value, a phone number, and the exact same fields would have to be for every single one of them. But here, it doesn't matter. It's kind of just anything goes as long as information is stored. The only compulsory thing you need to have is an ID. That's it. Now, if you go to find conditionally, you would have to use find and then this as a way to filter. Again, this is a very easy way you can experiment to find the right settings before you use your search and update. Again, programming is all about testing, experimenting, and then doing. So this is a good way to test it. The same way you would use a select statement to kind of double check you're selecting the right things before you execute something in SQL. So yeah, then you have remove field. Remove is just hobbies is equal to this, and then update is equal to this. Again, you know how earlier we used set? Now we need to use unset, which is really funny, but it's the way you delete it. Then remove one. Document is just remove one, call.delete one, and then you can just select the thing. And then if you want to delete many, you can do the exact same thing. I believe if you select delete one for a double entry, like you have 2 entries of pan and you just select name pan, I believe it will only delete one of them. So be careful. You have to use delete many whenever necessary. Then yeah, remove collection is just drop collection, and then my favorite, remove database, is just drop database. Yeah. With this, you should be a bit more confident, I guess, about databases. Don't worry so much. I think it's not that bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. Don't worry, you'll be able to figure it out. Just don't panic in exams, and remember, worst case scenario, score your method marks, just build the database. That's all you need to do. Build the database, even if your code doesn't work. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.